Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. We're going to be doing a thinking of you card actually. I decided that I wanted to use some die cuts I had already cut out, those U's, and I want to start with an embossing folder. So we're going to go ahead and pull this one out. It's from Stampin' Up! And we're also going to be embossing on vellum. So real quick, I'm going to cut it down. And I believe I cut it to fit the A2 size card, so that would be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And it's not going to stay that long because on one of the ends we're actually going to wind up tearing it, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough room for everything and make sure that I was embossing it on the right side. So that's what I'm checking right here, just trying to make sure everything gets placed correctly. And we're just going to pull out our cuddle bug, and we're going to lay down the A and the C plate and then put the B plate on top. Oh no, it's 2 B's, excuse my language. So it's A, B, the embossing folder, and then B. I thought I was die cutting. You only use the C plate when you're die cutting. Alright, and so there's your embossed image. And this is going to be the paper it's going to lay on top of. So I'm cutting it down to fit just slightly under. Let me make sure I did that right. Yeah, just slightly under the 4 1/2 by 4 1/4, excuse me, by 5 1/2. So it'll just leave a 1/8 inch border around. And then what I decided to do was I got this idea from a picture, and I was supposed to case the image. So the original picture had a border up at the top, so I switched it and put the border on the side, and I'm going to add my twine on the side as well. And to do that, I'm using the EK Success stamp border punch, and I'm just showing you as best I can how you line it up. If you start in the middle and then line up your one side and then do the same thing on the other side, you get a perfectly even border. And it works every time. And I cut it a little wide because I knew I was going to have to cut it down, but I wanted to make sure I had enough room in case I needed to, you know, cut like if I made a mistake, I could have cut that edge off and then potentially punched it out again. So now that I have my pieces, I'm just kind of laying them out, trying to figure out if everything is going to lay the way that I want it to, which it will. So I can then go, you know, into really cutting the vellum down to fit on the card. Because with vellum, you know, it's hard with the different tapes and glues. You can still see it behind the vellum, okay? So the best way, if there's a spot where you can, you know, glue your vellum down, then that's what I suggest. Or, you know, do extra so you can fold it under something. That works too. On this one, I'm gluing down on the one side, all the way down, because I have the border that's going to be on that edge. On the far right side, it will be open and it will be able to flap in the wind, basically. And then what I decided to do with this one, I was going to lay it down, and I totally forgot about my twine. So I grabbed the twine and I'm going to wrap it around twice. And after I put it around the border, I realized it's going to be hard for it to lay flat. So the best way would be to add just a little bit of foam on top of the twine, so that way it gives it a little bit of dimension and it'll lay more securely on the front of the card. And all I did was cut thin, like right down the middle of my foam tape, and then, you know, cut it off, leaving the other half still attached. And so we're just going to trim it down some more there a little bit, and then lay it down on top of the twine, cut off the excess, and then I said it again, it just came to me, I said access, the excess, Lord, I don't know what it is with me and that word. I'm gonna get it though. So now that I have it embossed, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a tear. And I'm glad I did it that way first, only because initially I was going to stamp first, but by tearing it first, I got it exactly where I want it, and now I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the best placement. So I'm just going to stamp thinking of. And we're going to pull out our clear embossing powder, since we used a VersaFine ink, put the clear embossing powder over it, heat it up, and it gives it a very nice shiny texture on top of our vellum here. And I'm just heating it up before I put it on my project, just making sure, because you know, with vellum, even though it is glued down, you still don't want too much warping. And then I'm going to grab the piece that I die cut earlier. It's already got stick it adhesive attached to the back of it, and we're just going to attach the U. So what we're doing here, I know I pulled it down where you can't see, but I'm trying to get the stick it adhesive off. And what I like about this adhesive is it sticks down but not fully right away, so it allows you to like pick it up if you need to and move it around if necessary. And then I also added a heart, and these were both just flat black. And so what I'm doing here is taking the Spectrum Noir marker, the clear glitter. That one's my favorite. I know they have them in different colors, but I really feel like if you're using color cardstock, you use the clear, and it's really pretty. And really and truly, I probably could have stopped right there. I mean, it was a really pretty yet simple card, but nowadays for me, you know, a card's not finished until we have what? Everybody say? Sequins. Very good. So I have on my desk still, which I keep on my desk, the sparkling clear mix from Pretty Pink Posh. And once I had them kind of laid out, I just grabbed my tweezers and my multi-medium mat from Ranger, and we're going to go ahead and get them glued down. And there's really, for me, there's no big rhyme or reason. Sometimes I use a few. You can get by with like 3 if that's what you want to do. And then there's sometimes where it's just like, no, it needs a little bit more. And this was one of those ones where I just wanted to kind of sprinkle the sequins all throughout the front of the card. Looking at it in person, it just gives it an added something, you know. The vellum with the embossing is really pretty, and just the sequins, just they add something very nice to it. So we're just going to finish up here. I had a little bit of a boo-boo. I put like way too much multi-medium down, so I wound up putting 2 sequins right next to each other. And the reason was I misplaced my one with the precision tip on it. So I had one of my old ones, and a whole glob of the medium came right on out. But luckily I found it. Here's our final pictures of our project. Make sure now, you guys, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and please share on all your social media platforms. Once we get to 300 subscribers, we will have another giveaway, and I will look forward to seeing you guys with our next video. Have a great one.